Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Luke Monster, and today the Vintage Collection Haslab Cantina was officially revealed, and I gotta say I have a lot of mixed opinions about it, but today we're going to be going over everything that's revealed, everything to do with it, and my thoughts on it. Really quick though, we're actually doing a giveaway on the channel. We're giving away this Black Series Clone 2-pack at 15k subs, but you do have to be subbed to the channel to enter. So make sure you go down and hit that sub button down below so you don't miss out once we do hit 15k. And we're also doing member giveaways here on the channel. All of our members will be entered to win this Black Series Mace Windu, and if you're a premium member, you will be entered to win this Black Series White Box Mando. You do have the entire month of June if you do want to enter, and any members that do join during the month of June will automatically be entered to win these figures, so consider going down and hitting that join button down below. Anyway, jumping into the base Haslab offerings for the base tier, because there are two tiers for this Haslab. You have a base and a deluxe tier. For the base tier, this is what you do get. So you do get a little doorway in the front with the walkway, and then this kind of like hallway, domed out kind of area with an arch with the steps down. Of course, then you do have the three little booth sections on the right side of the wall, then the whole Cantina bar area, and that whole thing there, plus three figures, which we will get into the figures here in just a second, is $399, $400 for that thing. It's weird to me. Like I said, I'm going to get into my thoughts here in just a second, but obviously you do get all the table, chairs, cups, and stools that are in the photo here, and so here's actually all of that laid out, and so you can see it's quite a bit of little pieces like that with chairs, tables, stools, cups. Like, there's a lot of there. Then it does have three figures as well, with the base offering being the bartender, which is great. Obviously, you can't have the Cantina without the bartender, so absolutely love this choice. And then we also have the long-awaited Tonka Sisters, which this is the first ever figures and probably the last. We'll have to wait and see. Pieces of merchandise for them. There's a whole thing back whenever the movie came out where the actresses didn't sign their rights for merchandise use, and so I'm not sure how Hasbro got the rights to use these as figures, but that's great, and I know these have been really, really wanted by fans for a long time, so I'm really happy they found a way to include the Tonka Sisters here in this Haslab. Anyway, taking a look at some of the details here in the bar, we have all of the cups and stuff on the counter, and with the drink rack in the middle, you have the iconic IG-88 heads, you have some different drinks and stuff in the background. Overall, the amount of detail and little bits and pieces that are on this bar look incredible, and I love the detail that was put into this. And I do want to talk about the Deluxe Cantina before I get into some of the stretch goals, but here is the extra Cantina piece you get. So for instead of $400, if you want to pay $500, you get these extra pieces here, which is basically just three more booth pieces, all the chairs, tables, stools, and cups that come with that, and of course a little bit of a wall piece that connects it to the bar. And I gotta say, I have mixed feelings about this. It's weird. Here is what the extra bar piece here attached to it all looks together, and actually looks like a full complete building now, which I think looks really cool. And so to be funded, this Haslab has to hit 8,000 backers by July 8th, so there's about 31 days, a little over, to back, and it's already over 2,000 backers, so I think the base 8,000 backers will get met. We'll have to wait and see, though. I'll definitely keep you guys updated as we get closer to that funding date. But there are some bonus tiers. At 11,000 backers, a Dorito figure will be included. At 14,000, this figure will be included. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name because I know I will get it wrong. And then at 17,000 backers, this figure will be included, which is the wolf guy. Again, not going to try to pronounce his name because I will get it wrong. But yeah, I think I really like how Hasbro is including the bonus tiers as base offerings right away. They're not going to have to wait to hit that number or the next number to announce the next one like they used to do. I like them putting all the bonus tiers out on the table once it's first announced, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. And then Hasbro actually did show off the Haslab on a live stream today, and so here is kind of a comparison of the TVC Cantina to a person, so you can get a real size and scale comparison if you are interested. But really, right now, we're going to jump into my thoughts. So that is all that the Cantina has to offer, and overall, my thoughts are really mixed. I like the Cantina. I think the Cantina is one of the most iconic scenes in all of Star Wars, but I think there's a lot missing, and I think it's a little overpriced. Not a little, I think it's a lot overpriced. One of my biggest problems is that there is no spot for the Cantina band. What is up with that? The Cantina band is the most iconic part of the Cantina, and there is no Cantina band. I understand if the figures aren't included, but there is no spot there to put the Cantina band if the figures were released at a later date. There's no spot for that at all. Normally, it's in one of those little booth sections. There's like a little stage in one of that you could stand them on, but there's no spot for a Cantina band, and I think that's just the biggest missed opportunity for a $400 or a $500 Haslab. There's got to be a spot for the Cantina band. Come on. Another big thing for me is that there is no floor or no ceiling, and I understand if you wanted to make the floor and ceiling like removable or swappable, like the entire thing is modular. You can take everything apart, so I would have been just fine if they included it and it's removable. I mean, that would be preferred so you can get in there and display stuff, but just a lot of it looks really unfinished without a ceiling or a floor, and there's a lot more that feels unfinished, which I'll point out now. The first piece that feels really unfinished to me is like the top of the bar, where like you have the little kind of U thing that goes above it, but it's just hollow on the inside, and you have the little like wall dividers on the inside that gives the structure support, and you can just see all of that. It's open. It looks unfinished. There should be some kind of cover or some kind of thing that goes over that to cover that up, because that's the inner workings of how they mold the plastic, and it's just there for everyone to see. It looks unfinished. And I feel the exact same way like when looking at the back of some of these arch pieces. You literally have the holes and the connectors visible for like making it modular. You can see all of that there. It's hollow and it looks really cheap. Like there should be some kind of piece of plastic or something that covers that up so you can't see it. That's all I'm asking, but when they don't include it, it looks unfinished and it looks really cheap in my opinion. Not a $400 to $500 product by any means. Here's another angle from the promo shots where you can just kind of see like the backside of a wall, and it looks unfinished and it looks cheap. Like I understand it's the inside of the Cantina that you're selling and you're putting all the detail into, but it just looks really cheap and unfinished from the outside. Like I think I would have preferred some of these wall panels and wall designs to go on the outside too, just to make it look finished and not like a cheap toy, and that's what it looks like. And I understand it's a playset, but it's a $400 to $500 premium Haslab, and it should be treated as such in my opinion. And there's so much more of this around like the doorway entry spot, to where you just see the inside of walls, and there's gaps and spaces in there too that just amount to nothing. It's just there, and it's empty space, and it looks really bad and unfinished. This is especially the case for like the little archways that go over the booth areas, because you have the archways which do come off, they're removable, but you have this archway, and then there's just this square wall that you can kind of see like the outline of the square, but it's just there. Like there's nothing that rounds it off or anything. It's just a random square wall and it like doesn't connect to any of the other walls. It's just a random square wall that juts out, and like I think you could have put a ceiling over this to cover it up, or maybe some walls on the outside to connect it all together so it didn't look as weird. But the fact that they're just these square walls that jut out and don't connect to anything, it just looks weird. Even if they like cut it out to where it perfectly fit the rounded booths, I think that would have looked better, but instead you just have this excess kind of like square wall on the outside that you can still see, and it just looks weird to me. And then of course, looking at the price, I mean, if you're going by the deluxe version, you have this little piece add-on here that's worth, according to them, $100. But if you're going by that logic, that means the rest of the bar is worth $400, and that doesn't math to me. So say the two sides here, that one's worth $100 and the other one is worth another $100. That's $200. Are you saying that the whole bar piece and then the walkway piece that is like the doorway into the bar is worth $300? That's like outrageous to me. Maybe if there's a floor and a ceiling, I would consider it, but I think this full thing, like the deluxe version here, is a $300 Haslab at the max. I would not pay a penny more for it. Even with the figures, I mean, they're $17 figures, and so 17 times 3 is like $51, and so like I said, I don't think I would pay more than $300 even with the 3 figures included. And I know you're probably saying, but there's 3 more figures included as bonus tiers. But they are bonus tiers, and it means you have to hit a certain backer goal to get them. So if you don't hit that backer goal, you're still getting your Haslab for that price, but you're not getting those extra figures. And so, no, they're bonus tiers. They are not incorporated into the price. That is how bonus tiers work. But yeah, overall, I just really cannot justify the $400 price tag, let alone the $500 one. But that's just my thoughts, and I have mixed feelings whether I even want it to get backed. Like, for all those TVC fans out there that really want this set, have been asking for it for a long time, I really do hope it gets backed for you guys, just because I know y'all really want it. And, if it was a Haslab I wanted, I'd want you to want me to get it too. But specifically, the reason I don't want it to get backed is because I think it is outrageously overpriced, and I think if we do end up backing it, it just encourages Hasbro to give us cheap, unfinished Haslabs like this that are outrageously overpriced. And if we get this one backed, it sets a precedent for them to do it in the future. Like, these Haslabs are for these dedicated fans that spend tons and tons of money on their products, and it just feels kind of like really scummy for Hasbro to kind of half-ass it and then ask for an outrageous price. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know I had the exact same problem with the Haslab Rancor. I just thought it was really overpriced for what we were getting, just kind of like this thing. And it's one thing whether it's Blacksters or TVC, I could care either way. I just want to make sure fans are really getting what they're paying for and that Hasbro is getting held accountable for that. And so I do really hope that all of y'all vote with your wallets, and if you really don't think that this is worth it, then please don't back it. Really, that's the only way that we're going to be able to really send Hasbro a message, is with their pocketbooks. Like, if you don't hit them where it hurts, the pockets, the wallet, then you're never going to get anything done. And so if you don't think that it's worth it, don't back it. But if you do, go ahead and back it. Like I said, it's really up to you at the end of the day, but I do think if this does get backed, it sets a precedent that Hasbro can give us kind of half-assed Haslabs like this. We'll see, though. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. If you disagree, like I said, I'm completely open for discussion here, and this is just my personal thoughts. You don't have to agree with them, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to think down in the comments below. So if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.